There comes a moment in every seeker's journey, a pause between striving and surrender, where they discover a truth so profound, it changes everything. That truth is this: abundance doesn't come through force, through chase, or through control. It comes through allowing. It comes when we finally stop trying to make life happen and instead open ourselves to receive it. Because the truth is, you don't have to create abundance. You just have to stop resisting it. The universe is not stingy with its gifts. It's not holding back, deciding who deserves more or less. The universe is an infinite field of potential, an intelligent energy that is always broadcasting possibilities, always ready to deliver more than you could ever imagine. But here's the catch: you can only receive what you're aligned with. And alignment begins not with force, but with stillness, with letting go, with trust. You've likely been taught that you need to work harder, push more, prove yourself, hustle until your body aches, that the more you suffer, the more you'll earn. But in the realm of energy, in the quantum world, that mindset signals a completely different message. When you're anxious, when you're tense, when you're obsessed with control, your entire being is vibrating at the frequency of lack, of fear, of I don't have. And since the quantum field mirrors your energetic broadcast, you attract experiences that confirm what you believe and feel. But when you relax, when you truly let go, you send a radically different signal. You declare to the universe, I trust, I already have, I'm ready to receive. In that moment, your vibration begins to match the reality you desire, not someday. Now, and the field responds. Your nervous system is the gateway. Think about it. When you're in fight or flight mode, your body is closed. Your mind is scanning for threats. Your heart rate is elevated. Your breath is shallow. You're not creating, you're surviving. And survival is the opposite of creation. But when you're relaxed, when you breathe deeply, when you feel safe, when you soften your internal world, you shift out of survival and into creation. You activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and the body says it's safe to receive. Your brain and heart move into coherence. Your energy begins to expand, not contract. You become a tuning fork for abundance. Picture this: you're standing in a river. It's flowing fast, clear, full of everything you've ever asked for: money, love, opportunities, joy. But you've been fighting the current, paddling upstream, gripping onto rocks of doubt and past pain. What happens if you stop? What happens if you loosen your grip, lie back, and trust the water to carry you? That's what it means to allow, to receive, to return to the natural state of flow that you were always meant to live in. This is not passive. This is powerful, because when you stop resisting, inspiration floods in, new ideas arrive, your intuition sharpens. You begin to notice the synchronicities that were always there, but hidden by your mental noise. You see the opportunity, the person, the insight, because you're no longer drowning in effort. You're receiving. Take a moment now. Close your eyes, inhale deeply. As you breathe in, imagine yourself inhaling abundance, not just money, but energy, freedom, support, joy. Exhale slowly, and with that breath, let go of the tight grip you've had on life. Let go of the stories, the shoulds, the deadlines, the fears, and feel your body soften. Feel your chest open, your shoulders drop. You're signaling to your brain, it's okay to trust. Now imagine your life not as a problem to solve, but as a miracle to receive. Imagine waking up without the pressure to control every outcome. Imagine opening your inbox and expecting good news. Imagine walking into your day already feeling wealthy, not because of your bank balance, but because of your inner state, because you're full, grateful, at peace. That feeling is the magnet. That state of being is the cause. The abundance you want is simply the effect. The power is in the emotion. The brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So when you feel wealthy, even before the evidence shows up, you're rewiring your mind and body to believe it's real. You're creating coherence between thought and emotion. And in the quantum field, that's when you start collapsing time. That's when the gap between the idea and the experience disappears. But none of this happens through tension. It happens through surrender. So many people ask me, Joe, what if I fall behind? What if I stop pushing and I miss my chance? And I tell them that fear is what's keeping it away. Because when you operate from fear, you're not in alignment with the energy of creation. You're vibrating at the frequency of protection, not reception. You're trying to survive a future that hasn't happened yet, instead of creating one you truly desire. Letting go doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means your action comes from a different place, from inspiration, not desperation, from joy, not panic, from flow, not force. When you relax, you become sensitive to the subtle nudges of the universe. You notice the small signs, the breadcrumbs. And when you follow those with faith, you're walking a path that's already been prepared for you. Remember, abundance is not a reward for effort. It's a response to alignment. And alignment is a feeling, a vibration, a state of being. That means you can practice it right now, wherever you are, with whatever you have. You can choose to breathe, to soften, to surrender. You can choose to close your eyes and feel the joy of a life well lived. You can step into gratitude not as a ritual, but as a frequency. And when you do, you become the cause, not the effect, of your abundant reality. I want you to understand this deeply. You were never meant to struggle. That's a human illusion, a story passed down from generations who didn't know any better. You came here to create, to expand, to love, to receive. The universe is generous. It wants to support you. It wants to partner with you. But it can only do that when you stop interfering, when you stop micromanaging every detail, when you stop needing to know how it's all going to work. That need to control is your biggest block, because it's rooted in fear. And abundance doesn't speak the language of fear. It speaks the language of trust. So trust, not blindly, but consciously, intentionally. Trust in the intelligence that beats your heart without you asking. Trust in the energy that keeps the stars in motion. Trust in the wisdom that brought you here to this very moment, reading these words, ready to remember who you really are. You are not just a physical being trying to survive. You are consciousness expressing itself in form. And that consciousness has access to infinite supply. The only requirement is this: relax, let go, allow, feel it now, breathe again, deeper this time. Let yourself feel what it's like to live without resistance, to feel held, carried, provided for. Let that feeling wash over you. Let it become your new baseline, because the more you practice this state, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, the more abundance begins to show up, not as a surprise, but as the new normal. You don't have to make abundance happen. You just have to stop resisting it. Let this be the moment you stop chasing and start receiving. Let this be the moment you realize you were always the magnet. You were always the portal. You were always the one. And now you're ready to open the floodgates. Relax, let go, and watch the universe pour in. Pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly and exhale fully. Now ask yourself this question, not just in your mind, but in your being. What am I attracting right now? Because whether you're aware of it or not, you are always inviting something into your life. With every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, you are sending a signal out into the quantum field. And that signal acts as an invitation. Your energy is the invitation. It's your frequency, your broadcast, your personal vibration that tells the universe, this is who I am. This is what I'm available for. This is what I'm ready to receive. And the universe, ever responsive, ever intelligent, answers back with matching experiences, people, and opportunities. This isn't theory. This is the foundational principle of how reality is formed. Energy precedes matter. Frequency precedes form. What you see in your outer world is a direct reflection of the dominant energetic state you carry in your inner world. We've all heard the saying, like attracts like, but what does that really mean? It means that the energy you consistently hold, your mood, your attitude, your belief system, is shaping what shows up in your life. You are not manifesting with your words, or your vision board, or your effort alone. You are manifesting with your state of being. Now let's get curious, not critical, but curious. What's your current state of being? What's the energetic tone of your inner world? Are you living in the energy of lack or the energy of overflow? Are you vibrating with gratitude and expansion or with fear, doubt, and contraction? The truth is, most people are walking through life unaware of the energetic message they're broadcasting. They think, I want abundance, while emotionally radiating fear about money. They say, I'm open to love, while subconsciously pushing connection away with old wounds and unmet expectations. They work hard, hustle, strive, while their inner energy is still anchored to a belief of unworthiness. And the universe, it's not responding to the words, it's responding to the frequency. Think of it like this, your body is an antenna. Your thoughts tune the signal, your emotions amplify it, your belief system locks it in. And once that frequency is stabilized, it becomes magnetic. So if you're broadcasting anxiety, frustration, or self-doubt, guess what's showing up in your life? More situations to match those exact feelings. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because it's consistent. It matches what you radiate. So the question becomes, how do I change what I'm attracting? And the answer is deceptively simple. Change your energy. Change the signal. Shift the frequency. Because when you do, everything begins to change. But this shift doesn't happen through force. It happens through awareness. Let's talk about coherence. In the realm of neuroscience, coherence means that the brain and the heart are operating in harmony. When you're anxious, stressed, or in fear, your brain waves become chaotic and your heart rhythm follows. Your body is in survival, and in survival, you're not creating, you're defending. But when you enter a state of relaxation, when you slow your breathing, bring your attention to the present moment, and activate feelings like gratitude, joy, or appreciation, something incredible happens. Your brain waves smooth out. Your heart rhythm becomes harmonious. The brain and the heart fall into coherence. And this coherent state, that's when you become a true magnet for abundance. Because abundance doesn't come to a scattered, conflicted, or chaotic field. It comes to an open, coherent, and clear one. So how do you get there? How do you shift your frequency from survival to creation? Start small. One of the fastest ways to change your energetic signal is through gratitude. Not just saying thank you out loud, but feeling it deeply, sincerely in your body. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can emit. When you're in a state of true gratitude, you're telling the universe, I already have, I'm already full, I'm already aligned. and the universe responds by giving you more to be grateful for. Another powerful shift is emotional awareness. Begin observing your emotional patterns without judgment. Notice when you slip into fear, comparison, or scarcity. Instead of resisting those states, acknowledge them, breathe through them, and gently guide yourself back to a higher frequency. You don't need to fake happiness. You need to practice presence, because presence brings clarity, and clarity creates alignment. Let's get practical. Suppose you're trying to manifest financial abundance, but every time you think about money, you feel anxious. Your stomach tightens, your breath shortens, your mind spirals into worst-case scenarios. That's the signal you're sending. That's the invitation you're broadcasting. I fear money. I feel unsafe with money. I expect problems with money. Now compare that to this. You take a few minutes each day to breathe, to center yourself. You visualize money as a flow of energy, not a source of stress. You imagine the feeling of freedom, generosity, and security. You practice gratitude for the money you already have, even if it's just a few dollars. In doing so, you're changing the emotional relationship. You're shifting the frequency. You're saying to the universe, I trust money, I welcome money, I use money for good, and the field responds to that new signal. Remember, this is not about pretending, this is about becoming. Becoming the version of you who already lives in the reality you desire. Because when you consistently hold the energy of that version, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to match. But what blocks that transformation more than anything else are the subtle unconscious energies we carry. Energies like resentment, guilt, shame, or self-doubt. These emotions have weight. They lower your vibration. They tether you to past identities that no longer serve you. So ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is no longer aligned with the future I want to create? What story, what wound, what pattern is playing in the background of your life, attracting more of what you don't want? You don't need to solve it all today. You just need to become aware. Because awareness brings choice. And when you choose a new energy, again and again, you begin to create a new identity. And with that new identity comes a new reality. The law is simple. The energy you send out is the life that comes back. The clearer and more coherent your signal, the faster your outer world reflects it. This is why relaxation matters so much. When you relax, you're no longer broadcasting panic. When you let go, you stop trying to control outcomes and start trusting the intelligence that governs all things. And when you trust, you invite miracles. So ask yourself throughout the day, what am I attracting right now? Am I inviting abundance or pushing it away with tension? Am I signaling trust or fear? Am I open or closed? Don't just think your way into abundance, feel your way into it. Let your energy lead the way. This is the invitation you extend to the universe, not with your words, not with your effort, but with the totality of your being. And the universe, ever faithful, ever listening, will match you at the level of your vibration. So pause, breathe, choose again, choose gratitude, choose joy, choose trust, and watch what unfolds. Because the truth is, the universe is always responding to your signal. Change the frequency, and you change what flows into your life. There's a belief so deeply embedded in our cultural consciousness that we barely notice it, yet it shapes nearly every decision we make about money, success, and self-worth. That belief is this: you must struggle to succeed, that the harder you push, the more worthy you become, that if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't count, and that only through sacrifice, stress, and burnout do we earn the right to experience abundance. But I want to invite you into a different possibility. What if wealth doesn't come through suffering, but through surrender? What if you don't have to earn abundance through pain, but allow it through alignment? What if life has been waiting all along to flood you with prosperity the moment you stop resisting its flow? We've been conditioned to glorify struggle. It's baked into our language. No pain, no gain. We wear stress like a badge of honor. We compare schedules like warriors comparing scars. We equate exhaustion with value, as if the person who sleeps the least is somehow the most worthy. But let's pause and examine the reality that belief creates. When you tie your worth to how much you struggle, you unconsciously seek out struggle. You create resistance even when the path could be smooth. You ignore ease because you don't trust it. And you may begin to sabotage abundance because deep down, a part of you believes you haven't suffered enough to deserve it. This is the struggle identity, a subconscious attachment to hardship. It's the part of you that feels safer in chaos because chaos is familiar. It's the internal program that says, if I'm not pushing, I'm not progressing. And until that program is rewritten, abundance feels unnatural, even threatening.